Hi, I'm David Farland. Welcome to Super Writers Tuesday. Today's question comes from Clint Lowe on YouTube, and he asks, how many agents should you query before you consider whether or not you should self-publish? And the answer might surprise you. The question you really are asking is, should I consider self-publishing? And the answer is absolutely. There are certain genres where you don't even want to query an agent. You don't want a publisher. For example, if you look at the advances that romance authors are paid versus the amount that they're paid for those books, in most cases, I look at it and go, gal, I don't even think I would want to have an agent or an editor in that particular genre. Once again, if you're writing a self-help book or something like that, you may not want a publisher at all. You may want to just go straight to self-publishing. But let's assume that you do want a publisher and you're in a field like young adult or science fiction or fantasy or thrillers, and an agent would make sense for you. If you are in that position, you're going to find that when you go through and you study who the agents are, who are the real power players in just about any genre, you're not going to find more than about a dozen, okay? And so you can do that using the technique that I teach in Publishing in 2021. When you look at that video, you're going to discover that you can go to publishersmarketplace.com and you can do research on the agents very easily. And it takes you less than an hour to get the information that you need on who the best agent is. I spent hours and hours and weeks when I first began looking for an agent many years ago. And when you start looking for those agents, you want to look for the top power players. And then you don't want to go to the second or third level, okay? I hate to say it, but there are too many authors who go out and get agents who really can't handle their genre, or maybe they can't handle any genre. And so you want to make sure that you find the proper agent. Now, I would suggest that what you do is you approach each of those agents. You find out who the agents are. You study what works they have purchased in the past. Make sure that they're a good fit for you. And then you contact them. And you can do that either via email. Sometimes you can meet them at a convention or something like that. Once you've tried to establish a relationship, to see if they're even interested in new clients, because many of them aren't. Many of the best agents are so busy that they just can't talk to new people. Then you want to pitch them. If the pitch doesn't work, then after you have gone through the top tier agents, then I would start thinking a little bit about whether or not I want to self-publish. The truth of the matter is if you look at the best-selling books of all time, they very often got rejected over and over and over again. When Scholastic asked me to help push a book big, find a book to push big, I chose the book Harry Potter years ago. And the first thing that the president of Scholastic said to me, she said, you know that it was rejected by the top 12 publishers in the world, you know? And I said, yeah, editors make mistakes, and they certainly do. If you look at some of the best-selling books of all time, like Dune, Frank Herbert went to over 40 different editors and agents trying to find a publisher for that before he finally found some people that made manuals on how to repair engines. And so he went looking over and over again, as did Tolkien. Got rejected half a dozen times in the United States with Lord of the Rings before he found a publisher. If you look at Gone with the Wind, once again, it went through over 27 different editors and agents. If you look at, we can just go on for hours. But the point here is, don't let yourself be discouraged because an editor or an agent didn't see the potential for your manuscript. I would say that moving into self-publishing is a great idea, but when you do it, you have to do it right, okay? And that is a study in itself. It's not something we can cover in a 10-minute video, because we're going to be talking about how to build a list of potential fans and how to do Kickstarters possibly to get the book ready for publishing. All sorts of things that pop in. How to advertise on Amazon. How to get pre-sales on your book and this kind of thing. It's a lot more work than people want to admit. It can be very profitable, and if you're good at marketing, you've got a great eye and things like that, it may be the absolute right move for you. Maybe, in fact, if you have a good enough eye, you might find that it's going to be a better move for you to think about that before you ever even look at publishing. But you've got to get a sense of just exactly what it takes, and it really does take some time. It takes some effort. It takes some money. It takes some expertise. It's not something that you just do lightly going into self-publishing. There's a lot of people out there who are self-publishing who are making 1 or 2 or 5 sales a week, and maybe not even that. I've known people who've put books out and made 1 or 2 sales total on a book. So you don't want to just step in and say, I'm going to self-publish, and you certainly don't want to throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks. It never sticks unless you know what you're doing. So, happy writing. This is our Super Writers Tuesday, and happy holiday season.